I had discussed about the Indian electricity rules in previous classes. Now today I will discuss about the last part of the Indian electricity rule. Rule number 84. Rule number 84 is related with the maximum intervals between the supports. All conductors shall be attached to support the intervals not crossing the safe limit based on the ultimate tensile strength of the conductor and the factor of safety. And this rule is related to the rule number 76, provided that in the case of overhead lines carrying the low or medium voltage conductor, when cross in the over, along and across the street, the interval shall not be without the consent in writing of the inspectors. Now rule number 85. Rule number 85 is related with the conditions to apply where the telecommunication lines and power lines are carried on the same support. There are some points regarding this rule, like first point, every overhead telecommunication line creates and support carrying power line shall consist of conductor each having a breaking strength not less than 600 pounds. Next point, every telephone used on the telecommunication line create on support carrying a power line shall be suitably guarded against the lighting and shall be protected by the cutout. Next point, where a communication lines is created on support carrying a high or extra high voltage power line arrangement shall be made of safeguard any person using the telephone against injury resulting from the leakage of the system between such power and telecommunication lines. Now rules number 86. Rule number 86 is related with the line crossing or approaching each others. This rule is based on the following points, like first point, where an overhead line is in proximity to any telecommunication lines, the other of the overhead lines shall protect it in a manner of lay it down the code of practice of the power and telecommunication coordination committees. Next point, when it is intended to the erect of the telecommunication line which will cross or be proximity to an overhead lines, the person proposing to each such telecommunication line shall give the notice in writing of his intention to the owner of the overhead lines, and the owner of the overhead lines shall be within 21 days to receiving such notice provide the protection. Next point, where an overhead line cross or in the proximity to an overhead lines belonging to another person, the owner of the line which was last created shall protect it at the ground against the possibility of its coming into the contact with the other overhead lines. Next point, a person is proposing to erect the overhead lines may require to the owner of the other overhead lines to provide the protection and safety. Next point, where two lines cross, the crossing shall be made as nearly at right angle of the nature of the crossouts immediately. Next point, all work required to be done by under this rule shall be carried out to the satisfactory of the inspectors. Next, rule number 87. Rule number 87 is related with the guarding. Under this rule, the following points are, where guarding is required under these rules, the provision of sub-rules shall be applied. Next point, every guard wire shall be connected with the earth as each point at which the electrical continuity is broken. Next point, every guard wire shall have an actual breaking strength is not less than 635.02 kg. That means 1400 pounds, and if made of iron or steel shall be galvanized. Next point, line crossing trolley wires. In the case of crossing over a trolley wires, the girding shall fulfill the following conditions. First condition, where there is only a trolley wire, two guard wires shall be erected. Next point, when there is two trolley wires and the distance between them does not cross 0.381 meters, the two guard wires shall be erected. Next point, where two trolley wires and the distance between them is cross 0.381 meters, that means 15 inch, but does not cross 1.219 meters, that means 84 inch, three guard wires shall be provided. Next point, where there are two trolley wires and the distance between them is cross 1.219 meters, that means 48 inches, each trolley wire shall be separately guarded by the guard wires. Next point, the rise of trolley booms shall be so limited that if the trolley leaves the trolley wires, it shall not foul the other guard wire. These are the vital points. Now, rules number 88. Rules number 88 is related with the service line from overhead line. No service line or lapping shall be taken off from the overhead line except at a point of support. Rule number 89 is related with the earthing. All metal support of overhead lines and metallic fittings attached with the earthing for the safety purposes provide the successful safety of the earthing system. Rule number 90 is related with the safety and protective device. Under this rule, the following points are: every overhead lines erected over any part of street or the public place or in any factory or mine or the any consumer's premises shall be protected with a device approved by the inspector for the rendering of the line electricity harmless in case of breakers. Next point, an inspector may be noticed in wiring required to the owner of each such overhead lines, whatever it may be erected to protect the manner of the specified rules. Next, the owner of every high and extra high voltage lines shall make adequate arrangement to the satisfaction of the inspector to prevent the unauthorized person from the access of the support. Such overhead lines without the aid of a ladder or special appliances. Rule number 91 is related with the protection against lighting. Under this rule, the following points are: the owner of every overhead line which is so exposed as to be the cause of injury from the lighting shall adopt efficient manner for delivering the earth any electrical surge due to the lightning. Next point, the earthing lead for any lightning arrestor shall not be passed through any iron or steel pipe, but shall be taken as directly as possible from the lightning arrestor to a separate earth electrode, subject to the avoiding of any accident. Next, rule number 92 is related with the unused overhead lines. Under this rule, the points are: first point, where an overhead line used to be the electrical supply lines, the owner shall maintain the safe mechanical condition accordance with the rule number 76 or shall remove it. Next point, where any overhead line causes to be used as an electrical supply lines, an inspector may, by a notice or writing order, the owner required him to maintain a safe mechanical condition or to remove it within the 15 days of the receipt of the notice. Now, standard values of the voltages. For medium and low voltage distribution system, the original recommended standard value of normal voltage is 230 volt for single phase and 230 by 400 volt for three phase system. However, during 1959, to align with IEC recommendation and is due to the economic advantage, they offered the value of 240 volt for single phase and 240 volt by 415 volt for three phase has been adopted. In case of voltage above 1 kV, the importance of highest system voltage, which are generally 10% above the corresponding normal voltage given below, is recognized and produce standard rate of voltage rating of equipment with respect to the highest system voltage only. Now, the standard declared voltage. Single phase 2-wire system, the standard voltage shall be 240 volts.